Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective. And today I'm coming at you with another review. This is the Re-Re-Rewatch of P Valley. This is season 1, episode 5, entitled Belly. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Okay. I talk about books, TV, movies, all sorts of things on this channel. If you are returning, welcome back. You already know the drill. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the episode, my commentary, and again, this is us going through P Valley as we wait with hopeful anticipation for it to be re-released. Season 3, we already got the green light. We're just ready for it to be aired. So anyway, I invite you to rewatch with me and re-rewatch the review. Let's get into it. So I like to open up with the beginning scene and then go character by character. I think that works the best for me. So the opening scene is a kind of I love the way that they're introducing the idea of social media into the story. So they show us through the eyes of someone who may be doing a live or some sort of story, maybe through Instagram or through the clock app, etc. And they're video recording Miss Mississippi as she dances to this new song, Over Love by Lil Murda. Okay. And so we see this person looking through the lens of her camera, her phone camera, and then we actually get a true visual of who is taking the video. And we see a patron who's singing and having a good time. Apparently, this is her divorce party. And she is spending all of her settlement money at the club. Ill advised. I would never tell a friend to do anything of the sorts. Girl, stack your paper. Okay, is what I would say. However, this is money that maybe she got and feels guilty about or sad about, whatever. We don't know. We don't know. But she is spending all of her settlement divorce money in the club. And so we see her enjoying herself, singing to the top of her lungs, Over Love, because she is in fact over love. And we see her dancing with Miss Mississippi and Gidget in the private room now, or the VIP room. Now, in this moment, she is having a little bit of a breakdown. She is telling Miss Mississippi that she is the most beautiful woman she has ever seen and that she never wants to go back to her house again and she's going to be lonely for the rest of her life. And she has this breakdown, almost, we'll say, an existential crisis in the middle of a club. Okay. And Miss Mississippi kneels down and looks her in the eye and says, God can't give you any blessings if you're still holding on to ish, right? You need to let it go. Gidget in the background is telling her, aren't those some words we all need to be living by, right? And Mississippi snaps her head and turns around and says, don't play with me while I'm trying to talk to the customer, right? As Miss Mississippi has turned over to chastise Gidget, the customer, who's drunk and, disorderly, basically, this falls out in a stupor, a drunken stupor. And there's a huge bag of money laying right next to her. And baby, when I tell you, Miss Mississippi and Gidget both looked at each other and was like, let's get this bag. And I said, I know that's motherfucking right. Okay. Okay. And that's how the scene opens up. What I love about this episode, this is another one of my favorites. I love the use of storytelling. I think this story, I love the way that they use characters to tie other characters into the story. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm talking about as we go through the review. Okay. Now, let's start off with Clifford because I feel like Clifford had a lot going on in this episode, and so did Mercedes. I think the two people who had the most going on was definitely Mercedes and Clifford in terms of life choices and things that they needed to choices that needed to be quickly made. So let's start off with Clifford. So it's morning and we slept the night away. Okay, child, they at the club. We at the club. Okay, it done went down at the club. And so it's morning. And as we left off for the last episode, episode 4, Lil Murda and Clifford got it in the night before. So we see Lil Murda, aka Lamarcus, sprawled out on the couch, bucky naked. Okay, he bucky naked on the couch in the office. And we see a reflective Clifford standing in the mirror, looking over Lamarcus's body and looking over his own. And he's putting on his wig and he's putting on his silk pajamas or his silk robe and just really analyzing what the hell happened the night before. What happened the night before? Okay. And so as he is going through this, just reflecting and trying to think about what happened the night before, he hears someone outside of the office. He goes to quickly look to see who it is. And it's that patron, that same patron who fell out in a drunken stupor with Gidget and Miss Mississippi. She's still singing Over Love, and he picks her up, pulls her out of the club, escorts her out of the office or out of the club. And as he's escorting her out of the club, there's the group of folks, everybody that works there. There's Diamond, there's Keyshawn, there's Gidget, the bartenders, everybody who works at the club is standing around looking petrified and scared and all of the things, because they saw the 14-day auction notice. Now, Clifford didn't know this. He doesn't know anything about it. He's looking like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Is Mercedes dead? Is Mercedes dead? Because, Mercedes never came back to the club that night, and she was supposed to come to dance for her last show, her last dance. And everyone was like, no, we don't know where the hell she at. But look, Clifford immediately turns around and sees the 14-day notice, and baby, just in a dramatic fashion, just like any queen would, falls out, does a death drop with his leg. I said, I know that. Clifford is too funny. So with this 14-day notice, Clifford goes down to see the Sheriff Bailey. And he is saying, Sheriff Bailey, I'm hooking you up with the honey goals. What is going on? Why are you putting me on a 14-day notice? And Sheriff Bailey basically tells him, listen, it wasn't my call. The mayor of Chucalissa, Mayor Ruffin, has decided to expedite this auction. I had nothing to do with it. I've held up my part, but honestly, you've been causing an issue anyway. We've had a patron of yours that was arrested, and we'll talk about that in a second. And we also had one of your dancers in here too. And he said, my dancers? He said, yeah, but what's her name? Lexus? He said, Mercedes? Yeah, Mercedes. She's in here too. And so Uncle Clifford tells Sheriff Bailey, I need to go see Mercedes. That's my daughter that I could never have. And so Clifford goes to see Mercedes in jail. Now let's back up and go back to where we started. Okay. So as the woman is being escorted out of the club by Clifford, we see her getting into her car. And this is where I say that I love the storytelling. I was like, this is such a beautiful way to link characters together. This is such a fun and cool way to link characters together. So the drunk patron gets in her car and gets into a car chase. Okay. And now in this car chase, she is pulling up to the telecheck place, the place where Autumn Night, aka Haley, Lakeisha Savage, is doing her scamerations, okay? And so prior to seeing the patron pull up in this car and she's driving drunk and being chased by the police, prior to all of that, because that's what happens essentially, that customer gets into a car chase and starts running from the police. Okay. We see Haley Lakeisha Savage at the telecheck place, and the telecheck place is telling her, hey, we have stopped with the money transfers, right? We cut everyone off. We opened it up to give everybody an opportunity to send money to their family members who may have needed it because of the flood. But after that, we have decided that we're going to cut that off. And Haley, Autumn Night, Lakeisha Savage is thinking like, what am I supposed to do? Right? What am I supposed to do? How else am I supposed to get this money? And the telecheck worker is like, ma'am, your family has been very, very generous, because we know that she's been making $9,000 transactions back to back to back to back to back. Right? And so as we see Autumn Lakeisha Savage trying to figure out what she's going to do next in order for her to continue the scameration that she's doing. She's like, okay, well, she's thinking in her mind, I need someone else with another ID. Okay. So as she's going through and having this conversation with the telecheck woman, we see the patron pull up, get so close to the building that we think that she's going to crash into it because she's drunk driving and running from the police. She pivots quickly, gets out of there, and we see the police zoom past after she's already pulled off. So there's a high-speed chase going on, and we're trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen, okay? Now, we know, keep this in mind, Haley Lakeisha Savage Autumn Night needs to find another ID in order to keep her scameration going. All right. Now, as we are pulling in, the patron is finally caught. We never know her name. We don't know her name, but we know she knows who Mercedes is. We know she knows who Lil Murda is. We know she knows the song Over Love. She's fully vested, okay, in the pink, right? And so we see her getting arrested, and she comes in again in a drunken stupor singing Over Love to herself. And from that point, we see Mercedes in the jail. All right. So Mercedes and the customer is being arrested. Their mug shots are being taken. Their fingerprinting, getting fingerprinted. And this is where we find out that the sheriff, Jesse, who was in the first episode, he is an officer, the man who kept putting his hands on Mercedes, and she busted the bottle and snatched his wallet and kicked him out. We find out that Jesse is a police officer, y'all. And Mercedes is just as thrown off as the rest of us. She was like, Jesse, is that you? Child, it's Jesse in here, girl. Oh, God, right? So we already know the jail cell is overcrowded. It's a lot of people in here. We've got a trans girl in the male cell. She should be in the women's cell. It's a whole lot going on. The phone isn't working. Plumbing is backed up. So it's a lot going on in this jail, right? So because of this, there's overcrowding in the women's section and in the men's section. So as soon as Mercedes is let into the cell, she sees Patrice Woodbine, who also has got arrested. And baby, when I tell you it was on site, Mercedes went to whopping on that ass, as she should. Okay, as she should. Now, Patrice didn't waste no time in this cell to tell us that Mercedes is her daughter and she's disrespecting her as a mother. And you know that manipulation tactic people like to pull when they're in the wrong, when a parent is in the wrong, but I'm your mother, you are the child kind of thing. Baby, Mercedes was not here for it. And so she started manipulating the people. Patrice Woodbine specifically started trying to manipulate the people in the cell to let them know that this is a disrespectful child who is ungrateful for all the things that I've done. And so we have this reckoning between Mercedes and Patrice in this jail cell, where we get a better understanding of how awful of a mother Patrice really and truly is, from phone bills being in Mercedes' name, to credit cards, to her even utilizing luring men to pay for things as a mother for her daughter, who is fully developed but too young to really understand what's going on. I said, your mama, baby, it was just a heart-wrenching scene. It was a heart-wrenching thing to watch and understand that how could a mother who was put on this place to be a guardian for their child do things like this, right? So going back to Clifford gets an opportunity to see Mercedes, and we've never seen Clifford and Patrice Woodbine. We've never seen them interact together, but we see it in this episode. And Clifford is not here for her ever. Don't you come for me unless I send for you, girl. He got her together, okay? And again, we already know if Patrice Woodbine is willing to steal her daughter's money and use the building that her daughter wanted to use for her own dreams, for her own self, we already know she's gonna be homophobic as well, okay? So there were some homophobic things that Patrice was saying. Now, in the exchange between in the exchange between Mercedes and Uncle Clifford, Mercedes wanted to know, okay, because I wasn't there, who went on in my place? And Uncle Clifford told her that it was Mississippi. And Mercedes was like, how did she do? And to keep Mercedes from feeling a little, y'all know how Mercedes like to be, child. Mercedes, she want to be the top bitch every single time. She just be forgetting that everybody, girl, there's room for everybody. She be forgetting that. But anyway, so Clifford was like, oh yeah, child, she did good. Oh, I mean, she did all right. She did all right. Yeah, right. No, Mississippi did a good damn job, okay? Because Mississippi done gone viral, okay? The song has gone viral and Mississippi is gone viral, right? And so that's two things that we're seeing. There's a stardom between LaMarcus, aka Lil Murda, and Mississippi, aka Keyshawn, okay? And Mercedes tells Clifford, listen, don't worry about me. I'm going to get up out of here. You take the ducats that you have and you use it towards getting the paint. Okay. I know about the auction. I know about the 14-day auction. Make sure that you use the money that you have. Don't worry about me. I'll figure it out. Okay. So Clifford leaves. Mercedes gets on the phone with the troops, Keyshawn, Gidget, everybody, to see if they can get together and put some money down and get her out. Unfortunately, they were not able to bail her out. They don't have enough money. She had parking tickets and all this other stuff, and I think it totaled up to be $5,000 to $6,000, and the girls just couldn't afford to do that. Okay, and so Autumn Night, aka Haley, shows up to also help bail them out. Now, this is where Autumn Night gets the idea to reach out to Mercedes, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. Now, on the other side, we see Andre, which I haven't mentioned him at all. Andre and Mayor Ruffin, they are putting a plan together to figure out what they're going to do. They've already put their plan together. Mayor Ruffin is going to do the 14-day sale, and Andre needs to make sure that the Kyle brothers are signing off on the land deal. Okay, so those are the two things. Now, with watching Isaiah Washington, I side eye his performance every time, because I know that he actually feels he has a lot of conservative views. So sometimes I be side eyeing. I side eye his performance a little bit, because he definitely has a lot of I feel like he has similar views to what Mayor Ruffin would really feel. Okay. Now, in the showdown between, my last thought on Mercedes and Patrice, the showdown between those two that actually happened in the jail cell, Mercedes ultimately tells Patrice she is dead to her. And I said, I know that's right. Do not forgive this woman. Do not go past go. Do not collect $200. Leave that heifer wherever the hell you found her. Okay. So now we see, where do we go? Where do I want to go? LaMarcus and Clifford. Okay. Now, Clifford has been avoiding LaMarcus for the longest time. And LaMarcus finds his way up to the office. Not like he ain't already been up there anyway, but Big L is like, how the hell this boy came up in here and found out where you was at, right? So LaMarcus comes in to see Uncle Clifford, and he wants to take her out. He wants to go somewhere with her. He wants to take her out. And in this scene, y'all, I'm not going to lie to you, I started crying. I was crying. Uncle Clifford goes down the list of all the people that were in the LGBTQ community who had been assaulted and or unalived because of their identity and being out in the open with it. Man, I was crying. And the violence that they experienced because of them being a part of the community. And LaMarcus was just like, listen, so we're going to be sucking in the dark. And again, Clifford was like, where am I supposed to go? Where are we supposed to go? Because I don't want to die, and I don't want you to die either. And I just, oh my gosh, people should be able to live in love where however they want to out loud. Okay. As long as everyone is a consenting adult, that's what I believe. Anyway, so as they share a kiss, Keyshawn, right? Keyshawn sees them. I'm gonna back up a little bit, because baby, we end up finding out who Keyshawn baby daddy is. And when I tell you how the hell your baby daddy look like this, but he put in, not even that it got anything to do with how he looked, girl, for the ancestors, girl, we find out Keyshawn baby daddy is a white boy. A white man. You gonna let a white man put his hands on you, given all of the things that we experienced from our ancestors? Girl, I cannot. We find out. Now, Keyshawn is trying to figure out, Derek drops the baby off. We find out Derek is a white boy. Keyshawn is trying to see if Clifford will watch the baby while she goes out and performs and works. That's how Keyshawn goes and sees LaMarcus and Clifford kissing. LaMarcus tells Clifford, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. LaMarcus tells Clifford, I'll go out and handle her. I'm going to have a conversation with her. Child, baby, Clifford couldn't say nothing. She was just like, okay. It was so cute. It was so cute. Too cute, okay? What else is going on? So Autumn Night decides that she is going to be the one to bail Mercedes out. She bails her out and gives her an option. Tells her that, there is a way for you to be able to get some money for yourself as long as you get me some IDs. And so Mercedes is an unlikely partnership, unlikely duo. And we also get a little bit more insight onto how Autumn Night Haley became who she is. We get a little bit more insight as to who her daughter is and how she lost her daughter. And we also see Montavious Hill. So in between scenes, and again, I love this. There's so many things going on all at once. As Sheriff Bailey was talking to prior to Clifford coming in to talk to Sheriff Bailey was talking to a man named Montavious Hill who's looking for a Haley Colton. Now we knew nothing about Haley Colton, child. We knew Haley. We knew Autumn Night, we knew Lakeisha Savage, we knew Haley, but we didn't know her last name. So a man named Montavious Hills, ominous man, right? They don't show his full face. They show that he's looking for someone, and it's ominous music that's played around him. And so we know something isn't right. However, we don't know the full extent. And so the show ends up showing him and how he's been tracking all of the transactions she's been making under the name Lakeisha Savage. Now, again, this is going back to Haley, Lakeisha Savage / Mercedes. They're partnering. Maine, y'all remember Maine, who, is not afraid of jail and is already on house arrest, can get some fake IDs for Haley and Mercedes to go in and make some more transactions. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, child, what's going on? What is going on, y'all? What is going on? Okay, what's going on? So they link up, and again, it's an unlikely pair, unlikely duo. I want to share this one real quick quote. I was like, oh my God, this is such a good. Haley was telling Mercedes that life is just a long day's journey into tomorrow, as she describes her journey of being a mother and then losing her child in the flood, and giving her a little bit of insight as to what happened to her daughter. So anyway, y'all, I think that, did I miss anything? I'm looking at I don't think so. Mercedes and Patrice, good, off with her head. That bitch, should have been done gone, should have been done left, right? Should have been stopped featuring her mama. Oh, I do want to mention that Uncle Clifford went to the barbershop to let Mayor Ruffin know that she knows about all of the appraisals, and that some people, a lot of the Black folk, aren't being offered the same amounts as some of the white folk are. And Mayor Ruffin is trying to figure out how the hell does Uncle Clifford have this information. Now, I might be getting episode 4 and 5 mixed up, but I do want to emphasize that when Uncle Clifford goes down there, he shows Mayor Ruffin the layout of the land and all the data that he's been able to collect as Autumn Night has been laid up with Andre. Okay. Anyway, y'all, love this episode. I would still say that my favorite episode is The Trap, which is episode 4. My absolute hands down favorite. But episode 5 is a good one as well. So we've got 3 more episodes. We've got 6, 7, and 8. Y'all check out my recaps, because I actually did a review for season 2. I didn't do for season 1. So anyway, check out my other content. Subscribe to the channel. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the episode. And I will see you guys in the next one. And again, I do invite you to check out the show. Be prepared. You don't want to be caught off guard, y'all, when it comes back. See you guys soon. Take care.